Howdy, everybody. Welcome to another edition, an episode of Real Thoughts with Bob Benham. I am your host, Bob Benham. Thanks for giving my podcast another chance. I really appreciate it. And that is the truth. I really do appreciate you coming and checking me out and stuff like that. I apologize for my voice being the way it is. I have chronic laryngitis, and that's been a problem here for the last few weeks. I can't explain why. One of those things. And it is what it is. You will hear me clear my voice throat quite a few times during the podcast, but I just have to do it. I'm just giving you a heads up on it all. Anyway, it is Christmas Day, and I wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. It is a typical Ohio day, cloudy, but it is warm outside, unusually, and green Christmas for us this year. Kind of been the pattern here lately. Haven't seen very many white Christmases here in the state. Can't explain why. Of course, the climate alarmists will jump in here and say, "Oh, global warming." No. The whole climate change argument is a bunch of BS. It's been disproven many, many times. Yes, global warming does exist. Climate change does exist. However, it is a naturally occurring process, has always been happening, always will be happening. We have nothing to do with it. It's just one of those things. They can make all the arguments they want for it. It's just a money grabbing scheme, and that's all it is. We have had so many supposed scares over the last 50 years since they brought the EPA into existence. And the climate alarmists have been just cranking out the scares like crazy, and they've been wrong on every one of them. So that ought to tell you something. That's my opinion on it all. But the science has proven them wrong every time. That's just how it is. Take it for what it's worth. Excuse me. However, they are just beyond despicable. Just like the rest of Democrats. I'm sorry. That party has lost its way. It has gone completely evil. There's no other way to describe it. When you have to cite websites like Occupy Democrats, things like that for your argument of a issue, that's just a talking point echo chamber that doesn't give any credence to what you're trying to argue for. I have read these articles that they put out, um, and there's nothing to them. Um, it is just the usual Trump bashing, Republican bashing. Um, there's no argument or idea to uh, give to no argument or idea or um, initiative to show what needs to be done to change it, to make it better, other than pushing freebies. And that doesn't work because they have no way to pay for it other than grab money from people that are already paying more than what they should. Like the middle class, and they say tax the rich, and the rich are taxed already way more than they should be. They argue the whole, what is that? What was the thing that the whole taxing by taxing the rich, they have to pay their fair share. That's what it is. Everybody has to pay their fair share. Well, I'm sorry, but there's no such thing as fair share. Because if there was, you would have to go all the way down to those that are paying nothing because they have to pay a fair share too. They would have to pay something into the system, and they don't. They pay absolutely nothing. We have one large class of people in this country that pay absolutely nothing into the system. In fact, we pay them, and that's the Native Americans. Do you want to talk about a thing of incident or whatever of reparations of paying or paying reparations to somebody? We have been paying reparations to them in the form of free, being able to live for free, establishing their own nations, and all that. And within our country, where they're free from having to follow our laws. And I can tell you it isn't working. I've been on the reservations. They hate us. I mean, they hate us, period. They get everything. They don't pay federal taxes. They don't pay any taxes, period. They pay zero. They pay their tribal fees to the tribes, whatever that is, to keep the tribe going. But that's it. That's all they pay. Um, a they don't have to follow any laws from the states that they are in. They don't have to follow federal law. It's all they create their own laws on the reservations. They're considered their own nation. They're not part of the United States, even though they're within our borders. Um, it's a it's an interesting situation. Um, and then yet here we have the blacks wanting us to pay them reparations. And I sit back and I see what we've done for the Native Americans and how much of a failure that is. And then I know how much of a failure that would be if that were to occur. And I pray that that doesn't. And I look at the fact that the war between the states back in the 1860s pretty much settled that, as far as the reparations BS goes, and the fact that there were over 600,000 killed over that issue, including blacks who fought for that issue. And in my opinion on that, I would say debt paid in full. The reparations were taken care of at that point. That all those people died to free them. Debt paid in full. If somebody was willing to give their life to free somebody, debt paid in full. You don't deserve any other payment for it. None whatsoever. So this whole thing of, we need to pay the money for this crap. No. Get a life. Go away. Only thing that you deserve is maybe a plane ticket or a boat ride back to Africa. And let's see how you do then. You want reparations, we'll send you back home. It's just, this whole thing's ridiculous. It's ridiculous what they're asking for. We need to if you want to get real about things, let's get real. You are owed nothing. The only people that were owed anything were the ones that were actually slaves, and they are all gone. You're just a descendant, maybe a descendant of a slave, and you're owed nothing because you didn't have to do anything. You weren't owned or anything. You have the same freedom as I do. You are able to do anything like I am. It's up to you to do those things. If you don't want to do it, that's up to you. You have the same opportunities and the same freedoms that I have. It's just whether or not you want to take advantage of doing it. If you don't, that's up to you. If you want to stay living in the hood and doing nothing to improve yourself or whatever, that's on you. I can't help you. That's called freedom of choice. God gave you freedom of choice and free will. God gave you that. Nobody else can take that away from you. It was given to you to use however you see fit. And if you don't want to use it, that's on you. That's your choice. I've made choices. I've done things that, hey, I've made bad moves, bad decisions, and I've had to live with them. I've made bad deals. I've had to live with those. I've had to pay for them. Everybody does. It's part of life. That's how nothing was handed to me. Everything that I have, everything that I have worked for. I have worked for. Nobody has given me a thing. Nobody. And you know what? I'm glad. I'm proud of it all. When I go somewhere, I feel proud. I go and do it. I go someplace, and it's just like, hey, I know where this came from. I know how it was obtained, and it's all mine. I did it on my own. Nobody helped me. Nobody came up and said, "Hey, I'll help you buy that," or "Oh, hey, I'll give you this to get you to get through." Nobody. Nobody did that. It's all me. That's what life is about. Do it on your own. Work for it. Take responsibility. Be accountable for your actions. Do those things. Take pride in what you are doing. Life will be so much easier. Will there be something hard or hard things that come along the way? Absolutely. 100%. It's going to happen. But in the long run, oh my gosh, you will feel so much better and so much more relieved because you know that you don't owe anybody. It's all yours. Makes a whole lot of sense and makes things a whole lot easier. Anyway, oh, back to Christmas. I'd like to kind of, excuse me. I'm so sorry for all this. This is just hard for me too. I hate the fact that this, ugh, ugh. Laryngitis has been really hitting hard for some reason, and I don't like it. Um, it is so hard to deal with sometimes. Um, but what else? It's one of those things you just deal with it and go on. Um, anyway, back to Christmas. Um, Christmas is for me in general here the last what is it 27 years now. Yeah, uh, phew, have been especially hard because 27 years ago, December 22nd, I lost my mom. Um, it was very unexpected. She passed away from a fatal asthma attack. And we, uh, sadly, she passed away alone. Um, my sister, bless her heart, ended up finding my mom. My mom had gotten home and tried to get her medicine going with the oxygen tank and tried to get her emergency stuff going to get her treatment. And things were turned on, but she never made it. My sister had found her slumped over, sitting but slumped over. And she had already passed. I remember getting the phone call that evening. So that it was tough. It's made Christmas very hard. My sister had young children at the time, and she was pregnant with her third. And actually, she was pregnant with twins at the time. Uh, and we had to present our happy faces and stuff like that for the kids. And the kids were like, "Where's grandma? Where's grandma?" And how do you explain that? But we made it through. Um, but Christmas for me has not been the same. Um, since then, I've only had a Christmas tree up 3 times. Um, it's just been hard to put one up. Now, to be honest, and stuff, while I was traveling with my late wife when we were doing the full time RV thing, um, it's you can't put up a Christmas tree in an RV. It just doesn't work. Um, so for what was it from basically 2006 to 2019, for that period of 13 or 14 years, basically 14, uh, there was no tree for those years anyway. But the rest of the time when lived in a house, let's see. Yeah, there was only about 3 years had a tree. Um, it just it took the spirit away from me. Um, I still, I mean, it took as far as the spirit that I'm talking about, it took away the spirit of um, the commercial celebration of Christmas, the putting up of the tree, the gifts, the whole that part of it, the parties, the whole that whole part of it. As far as celebrating the birth of Christ, that part of it, I still celebrate. Um, so that part of Christmas is still joyous to me. I celebrate that within my heart. Um, I do wish everybody a Merry Christmas. I still send out, like, I'll call family, I'll call friends, wish them a Merry Christmas. Um, I'll celebrate it in that kind of way. Um, and I try to do that in a personal way in talking to them. Uh, but that's about as far as I go. The rest of it, I just, that part's not there anymore. Am I wrong for it? You could argue I am. Um, I've had people say, "Well, you know, And on it, you should do it in honor of your mom. You know, your mom would be mad that you stopped. Would she? You bet, yeah, probably. That's a real good argument because my mom was very big on celebrating Christmas. She loved celebrating Christmas. Um, and that argument itself is very, very strong. Um, and that argument in itself uh, would kick my butt. However, it's just something I have a hard time with. And that's just for me. And that's just for me. Um, there has been so much that's happened in my lifetime around this time of year. From about November 1st through March 1st, and actually I'd be say through April 1st. If I could hibernate from those dates through those dates, I would be happy because it would keep me from having to think about what's happened during that period of time. The amount of loss I've had during that period of time, the amount of tragedy that I've had during that time, the amount of grief that I've had during that time. And that's been the hardest is the grief. And the reason why I say that is because I've never really had the chance to grieve. Um, when you don't, when all those things happened, of course, I was working and married and the whatever incident occurred, things, whatever, and the incident happens. You, if it's a death, you do the wake, the funeral, and then you end up just uh, pushing through, and back to work you go, and it's like nothing happened. As you're doing the wake and the funeral, if it's a family member and stuff, you're trying to put on a strong face and stuff to the people that are coming to pay their respects for that family member. So you try to be strong and show show strength to thank them, and so you aren't really getting the chance to grieve. So you push through that. The funeral comes, the graveyard service, you push through that. Um, so the whole grieving thing really doesn't get to happen. Um, at least for me, it never got to happen. I'm not sure about how other people dealt with it or deal with it. I'm not sure if um, if they were able to de- you know p- deal with the grief at the time or be able to grieve at that time too. I know I couldn't. I have I don't know if it was one of those things that um, it was instilled in me as a boy that because I'm a man that I had to push through and show strength and not cry and not and be basically stern and strong and push through. Um, I'm not sure. I really don't know um, if that was the case for me. Um, I've got a good idea that that was probably it, but I can't say for sure. Also, with how I mean, like now, right now, I'm learning be- to grieve. I'm learning to grieve my mom's death. I've been doing some reading, some research on that, and trying to figure out how to get that process done. To figure out to allow myself to do that. And it's been tough. To learn how to do that. I mean, even to like, I never grieved my late wife's passing, um, and hers was hers was especially tough. Um, with hers being where she took her own life, um, and me finding her uh, after she had done so. Um, all that was um, extremely hard. And I mean, that one, I'm still trying to figure out how to grieve as well. Uh, and even as recently as losing my father, which was it's coming up on 3 years now. Um, I just don't know how to. Um, it's just, and that's something that has bothered me for so long, so long. Um, I know it's kinda this is not a really good time really to talk about the grieving process, but at the same time too, there's a lot of people, uh, that on Christmas, it's a very big issue because Christmas time, there's a lot of people that have a hard time getting through the day because they remember the loved ones that they've lost and they feel lonely because of that. And I'm one of those. I'm one of those. Um, it's just a hard day to get through. Um, because of the people that were lost around Christmas time. Um, I'll list for just quickly. I'll list for you who I've lost right around Christmas time. I lost a grandfather. I lost a grandmother. I lost my mom. Um, I lost a very close friend. Uh, within a month and a half, I lost my late wife. Um, I lost a teacher that was that I would call a friend and was very uh, a very good mentor to me. He ended up being murdered. Um, I lost. Oh gosh. Um, uh, those are the big ones that I've lost. The ones that are just fresh. Oh, it's so fresh in my mind. Um, that it makes Christmas the hardest. Um, and anyway, um, they those those are the ones that when the holiday comes around, it's just so hard. It's just so hard. And over the last, especially the last couple of years, I've always, because of my late wife being 15 years older than I was, we always hung around people that were her age or a little older, like around my dad's age. My dad was in his, well, my dad, if he were still alive, he would have been in his mid 80s. Um, and for some reason, I got along with people that were that age and around that age. I just, My for some reason, I just felt comfortable around them, and I felt like my personality and my morals, my oh, just the way I thought, my thought process was just aligned with them, and I could have a conversation with them that just, um, was it would just seem to mesh, was in alignment with each other. Um, and today, with the people today, the ones that are more my age, I don't have that. There's there's only very few people that I can have a conversation with that are my age that I can have an intelligent conversation with. My best friend? Oh yeah. He and I have that alignment that we can talk forever and have an intelligent conversation. And oh my gosh, I mean, the things we can talk about it's crazy. And um, just just talk about stuff that's going on and be in alignment with what's going on and have a good idea of what the world, what's going on in the world, and what's going on and why, and trying to figure out how to stop this insanity. And it's all a bunch of people that, I mean, that are insane that are doing this. It's incredible the amount of insanity that's going on right now. I mean, I'm at a loss of words for it all anymore. I just know that this year, at the end of this year, I know everybody's going to be ready to say Happy New Year and all that stuff. Wish people Happy New Year and everything. I You will not hear me say that. Not not no. Because how can you wish somebody a happy new year with the insanity that's going on? How? I can't do it. I just can't do it. It's not I I know I say, "Oh, you wish happy new year because you wish them that things will be better and blah 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 blah." It's not getting better. It's not going to get better. Not without some unbelievably major change. Something huge would have to change, and it's not going to because I'm talking the way it would, the way it would have to change It would be it would take, sadly, an act of war. That's how far how bad things are. It would take an act of war. And that, I'm sorry, but that we're past, way past the trying to talk it out. It ain't, that's gone. There's too much of a divide. The Democrats are so far left, so far left. I mean, they can't even tell you what gender somebody is, or it's basics, basics. They told us during COVID, follow the science, but they can't follow the science on biology. They forced a freaking vaccine on us that was causing people to die. It caused me to have a pulmonary embolism. I almost died from an unprovoked blood clot in my lungs. They went through every blood test in the world to try to figure out why that happened. And I had negative results on every blood test. But I had 4 shots of that stupid vaccine. And the reason why I did was because I could not see my father in those damn homes and facilities without having had it. And without having had the proof of having it. They tried to kill me. Just for me trying to see my dying father. To me, that's an act of war. I have had it with so many things. You want to talk about a violation of the Constitution? That was one of them. And it was blatant. Uh, I'm sorry for getting so upset on it. I mean, it's just that I have such a deep love for the United States of America. I have a deep love for what this country once stood for. And that is what I want it to stand for again. This crap that they're trying to push now is not the United States that I signed up to go into the Navy to defend. It has changed for the worse. In so many ways. In just such a short amount of time. Socialism is here. Communism is here. And we were fighting for that while I was in the Navy. We were fighting against that while I was in the Navy. We were fighting against it. And it's here now. We're fighting against the damn Islam and the Muslims. We fought against them in the 1700s. They're here now in our government. They're building mosques all over our nation. They do not assimilate to our country. They do not fit in with our Constitution. They are opposite of everything we stand for. And they are here because they are using freedom of religion against us, because they are claiming they are a religion. They are not. Islam is not a religion. All this insanity has to stop. And our politicians, they better start listening, and they better get on board quickly. I said a while back on my podcast, I am in this fight. I will be behind this microphone doing this as long as I can, because what's going on in our country right now is wrong. And I have to be here and say something and fight for it. And I will. If I have to sit here and read excerpts of the Constitution and explain it, I will. because it is not being followed properly. It is being spit on in our faces, and it has to be stopped. Please take care of yourselves. Thank you for putting up with me for the last hour. I do appreciate it. I really do. I hope that you do check in again real soon. I can't believe I've got 50 of these done, and this is the 51st, and hopefully many more will be coming. The last couple of weeks were challenging for me. I've had some more medical stuff done, and I've found out got a couple arteries that are between 70 and 99% blocked that I got to have dealt with, and that's kind of got me concerned a little bit. It's not around the heart. It's in another area. It's down in the abdomen and stuff, and I got a feeling it explains a couple of other problems that I've had. I'm not sure. Hopefully we can figure it all out, because I've had some liver problems, and I've had some problems with my spleen. My spleen's enlarged big time. And like I said, I've had problems with my liver. And one of the arteries that takes care of the liver and the spleen is 70 to 99% blocked. Not good. The other one takes care of the stomach and the large intestine and small intestine. Again, not good. So there's a few things that, a few more challenges for me. What else is new? But hopefully we'll get through it, and I'm sure I'll get through it. I'm a fighter. That's how I am. I keep fighting through what I got to fight through, and whatever comes my way, I got to get through another day. I get through it the best way I can. Anyway, thanks for checking in, and hopefully here fairly soon I'll have another podcast for you. Please take care of yourselves. Watch out for one another. Be vigilant in your surroundings and what's going on around you. Please keep your nose out of your phone and be aware of your surroundings. There are bad people out there. They're watching you. And if your nose is in your phone, you're giving these bad guys an opportunity, and you don't need to be letting them have that opportunity. Other than that, I hope all is well. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, and hope Santa was good to you. And please take care of yourselves, take care of each other. God bless you. You've been watching Real Thoughts with Bob Benham. I am Bob Benham. Who else would I be? And God bless the United States of America. And until next time, take care. Bye bye.